Hey, good Wednesday morning, guys. Thanks for logging on to BAMWX.com. Meteorologist Ed Valley here with the latest on Hurricane Irma. It's a dangerous Category 5 hurricane, still dealing with winds of 175 miles an hour. Recently crossed right over the island of Barbuda, now over St. Martin. And this system is slowly moving off to the northwest, and it's going to impact Puerto Rico. It's going to impact Hispaniola here, the east and north side of Hispaniola. And the one thing we have been noticing is, look where it started. It started here, and we begin to see a northwest push with this system as it moves off towards the west. So certainly gaining some latitude here, and that's going to lead to some impacts down the road, and I'll get to that in just one second. So we're starting off here with the major models and where they are now going with this hurricane. And we notice this is the European at the top. Takes a hard right turn just east of Florida, goes right into Charleston, okay? The Canadian, same thing. GFS, same thing. This is a serious situation, and we have not seen this tight of a consensus yet with this system, and there will still be changes, but we are beginning to notice the western coast of Florida. The envelope is slowly pushing off to your east, so that's good news for the west coast of Florida. East coast and the eastern Caribbean, you're still in it. And now we're starting to see a trend towards some Carolina impacts, okay? Here's the latest 12Z this morning runs from the latest models, and notice, here's the Hurricane Center's forecast. Notice how it goes into South Florida. Yesterday it was off the coast, so they've trended east. But look at how far east these models are. None of them, except only one, makes landfall in East Florida. All of the rest are now in the Carolinas. Parts of the Bahamas. Category 4, Category 5 impacts likely. That's devastation, okay? So take this seriously. If you know anybody down there, let them know. And this trend has been pretty clear over the last 24 to 48 hours. You notice the older data was a little bit farther off to the south and west. New data is a little bit farther north, and that has a big impact on where this system inevitably goes. You can see that clear trend is north. You can see the red X is where Irma currently is. And you notice this is the track, right on up through the Bahamas. And I tell you, I've been on vacation down there. I'm sure some of you have as well. This is not going to end well for places in the Bahamas, unfortunately. And I showed this yesterday in the video. This is the little piece of energy that's really going to dictate where this system goes. I had this right arrow on here for a reason, and it's certainly trending in that direction here this morning. You can kind of get an idea. Feel free to pause the video, kind of read through what's going on here. But this piece of energy is going to force this system to make a right-hand turn and come north. It's just when that happens is what we're still trying to figure out. And the latest trends, like I said, are closing in on this right arrow versus the left arrow. But regardless, with this system, we're going to have on the east coast, southeast coast, from the Outer Banks all the way down to Miami, a lot of wind, a lot of waves. 10 to 50 foot waves depending on where you're at. So if you know anybody going on a cruise or anything like that, don't do it. Not a good idea here, okay? This system continues to strengthen. Here's Irma's location as of 10 a.m. No shear around it. That's going to allow this to continue to strengthen. And, unless we start seeing some land interaction here with Hispaniola or Cuba, there's really not much to keep this from staying a Category 4 or Category 5 hurricane. So definitely not good news, depending on where you are here. But I will draw where we're thinking here for our arrow. I'm going to change the color so you can get a better idea. Right now, this is our window. Our window is essentially this, okay? It comes back like this, and then it kind of does one of these numbers. This is our window, not the National Hurricane Center. This is our thinking only. Notice the Hurricane Center is on the far western edge of this envelope right now. Confidence, in my opinion, is very high out to 3 days, which is here. Once you get beyond here, the solutions kind of differ based on how fast this system turns north. But regardless, if you're in South Florida, you know anybody in South Florida, in the Eastern Caribbean, including the Bahamas, and all of the Caribbean islands here, make sure you have a plan. Okay, that is the biggest thing. Heed evacuation orders, heed warnings. This is not a joke. This is not something to take lightly. We saw what happened with Harvey out in Texas. The system means business, and make sure you're preparing accordingly. So that's all I have for this morning. I'll have another update out this afternoon with additional information. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach on out to us. We do have a system that you can reach out to with questions. It's wxops@bamwx.com. That might be hard to see, so I apologize for that. But you can kind of get the idea. wxops@bamwx.com. So that's all I have. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon.